That's a good part about that. We could tap it from there. Good morning.
Hey.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. We are Two Bros Podcast, episode number 18. 18? Yeah, 18.
18, I think.
Wow,
Yeah, 18.
So 17 was a very interesting
That was
episode.
fun.
We had a lot of fun bringing Bust 'em Up Kev on the show.
Bust him up.
He was
Bust 'em up,
in
Kev.
all
Bust
of
'em,
his
bust 'em up,
glory,
Kev.
and
Bust 'em up. Yeah,
I think he enjoyed it more than
I think he did too.
you know, the excitement of it, but getting able to tell his side of things and the comic guru he is on such levels.
Yeah.
But what's up with you, man?
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Had a nice night. Yesterday was like filled with doing chores, and then me and some friends we went to check out the UFC fight last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was this?
We went. Well, the fight itself was in Boston.
Oh.
We went to a bar.
A bar. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but it was fun.
But who was fighting?
Nice fight. The main fight was the heavyweight champion, this guy named Stipe, and facing this guy named Ngannou. Just huge.
Stipe and Mugano
from Ohio.
Wow.
Ngannou was a challenger. I think he's from Cameroon.
Oh, okay.
Just a big freaking, but like apparently like he's like been clocked at like having the most like powerful punch.
Ooh.
Or whatever. Just a big, just like scary, freaking all stereotypical
Cameroon.
scary
Typical
African.
Yeah.
Just like this is everything. Like, you know, like when you look at him, you say, "This is the dude that's gonna rape my daughter." This is like, no, I don't want him around. I don't want him around.
What a reference.
I don't want him around.
What a reference.
But he lost.
Oh, wow.
He lost. That champ Stipe beat him.
Oh, wow. And so the Stipe guy is from where?
He's from Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. Okay.
Yeah. He's from Ohio. And he's apparently a full-time firefighter also. So he's a firefighter. So
he's got some muscle and some gumption.
Yeah, so he's he identifies with that like that working man
type blue collar
thing. Right, exactly.
Yeah. That seems to always add a little, fuel to the fire where it's like a guy that's real. Like,
right.
Because some of these guys, you wonder, like, what the fuck do they do after the fight? Like, they just train their life.
Do they always just train?
They always just train it. I like Creed. We watched that again recently.
Oh, I never saw that. I know it's a great movie. Everybody says it's a great movie. I've never seen it. I have to see it.
You got to see it. So it was a scene, and they won't spoil. Spoil. It's too late. It's fucking 4 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
She's Felicia Rashad obviously plays Apollo Creed's wife, which is taking care of his son, etc. And he decides he wants to fight, and he tells her, he says, "Listen, I'm gonna fight now, and that's it." And she says, "Oh, what's attractive? You want to have somebody carry you upstairs so you can't because you can't walk, or you need someone to wipe your own ass because your hands are swollen and you can't even wipe your ass. Like, that's what you want. That's the part you're looking forward to. Good luck, motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? So that reality, like, you don't think about what happens to these guys like after the fight, and some of these movies showed it very well, like Southpaw, and so if you don't have a good support group, like a good lady, somebody that could just sit there and dab your wounds and really be like, "It's okay, baby," because these guys are meat grinders, man. They just beat the shit out of each other just for a check or whatever. So shout out to those guys that can actually put themselves on that line for someone's entertainment. Like, could you imagine? Like, that's what you're doing. Like, you're really just
you're entertaining.
Yeah.
You're being a gladiator for a decent check.
Yeah, so shout out to those guys there. But I don't know, my week was pretty dull. I mean, not too exciting. My dull weeks are regular dull weeks. I mean, business dull weeks. But a lot of bidding war going on with me and a couple of companies and stuff doing some.
Did you come into the city anytime?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, did you? Okay.
2 or 3 days. But I was in early, or I was even late. And then the week before, my daughter was in the pageant.
Right.
And out of like 180, she did fairly well, got a judge's award, etc. So she did very well. She handled it well, which I liked. I mean, she really handled it well, where she wasn't like upset. She's been performing and entertaining like all her life, like since 3 or 4. So I think she gets it now. I think she gets it. Like, one opportunity is just that. It's an opportunity. It's a window.
Right.
Whether you hit it when it's open or it closes and then you're off to something else. It's like like we always say about the sports. Like, don't take it with you.
Right.
Leave it. Just leave it alone. But that wasn't the interesting part of it. So the interesting part is she left something up at there. It was up at SUNY Purchase or whatever. So they're like, oh, okay, you go up and get this stuff or whatever. So they drive an hour and a half drive, nothing bad. If it was snow, like that little bullshit snow that came down.
Oh, in the middle of the week?
But it came like fast and furious, like really heavy. And I said, let me just get up there before the snow. I called the place. It was like, yeah, all the lost and found is here. We have it, blah, blah, blah. I get up there and they're like, what you talking about? And I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. Right. I was like, I knew it. I said, so I was being very diplomatic, and the lady was very accommodating. Shout out to SUNY Purchase, the school itself. They have a performing arts theater, which is really nice. They do it really well. And she was very accommodating. She was like, listen, we normally have everything here in this little box, but some reason the pageant took the stuff with them. I don't know where shit is. Okay. And she said, so call this number. And I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting, but the snow was like mounting up. I was like, all right,
how long am I going to wait?
This is not going to work here. So I called the place. And the crazy part of it all is I just can't help but believe that after they got all this money from this pageant, every one of their answer machines was, hi, we're on holiday.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
And so the lady actually called me back. But I already came back down to the state, down Queens. And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. We're on vacation. Your group leader is in the Bahamas and the other ones. And I'm like, okay, you shouldn't have told me that. Like, I'm,
right.
These people work hard for these pageants. They do all this, actually, they spend all this money. They get these costumes. They do all this stuff. And for you to tell them that, oh, we're enjoying your money. And
that's right. We've cashed your check.
Cash your check.
Your check cleared. And therefore, we're enjoying ourselves.
We're enjoying ourselves. So what do you want now? And then she says, oh, well, all the stuff is at the hotel, which happened to be one exit away. I was like, freak, I should have just... I know I should have went there, but other than that, it was fairly...
Well, was it important, like a valuable something that she... Well, I'm assuming it is because...
I was on this point of, hey, it's a sports bra, a pair of sneakers, and some tights or whatever. And
okay.
I was like, babe, just leave it. Like, I'm going to spend $50 in gas to get up there.
Right.
I get a Tahoe truck.
You can spend $50 and get you a new sports bra and tights.
Yeah, like we could go towards that and get a new one and be doing... She was like, no, it was like $180. I was like, oh, let's go.
Where are you getting $180 for?
You know what? It's a racket because you had to wear their stuff. Like they, what I'm saying? They had their own brand. They had their own.
That is a racket.
Yeah, they cornered the market with it. But it was an interesting experience. It was a class act. It was really done well. And shout out to the organizers of the Miss Teen USA. I mean, they get a lot of flack. You know what I'm saying? They get a lot of flack because of obviously Trump and his running and dealing with the pageant.
Well, I mean, everybody's not going to be happy.
Right, so. Exactly. Oh, it was 180 kids there, 180 girls. And, I mean, some of these girls were like, how old is she? And some of them looked super old on stage and all this stuff. And then when we got back to, like, the hotel, you saw them personally, and they're, like, all this big, and they're, like, walking by, like, that was her? Like, what? But no, my daughter really handled herself very well. She lived the moment, enjoyed it, and it's good for your resume. You chalk it up, you put it in your resume, you say, I've done it, and, not too many kids have had that opportunity, and more or less marvel at it, and just say, hey, you know what, this was great for me. I'm going to just move on. So, so that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Add it to the resume.
Add it to the resume. That's all you do, man. But other than that, nothing much going on. I was, just switch subjects a little bit. I was so moved at the Senate hearing. I don't know if you've seen this.
I've seen some of it, yeah.
I have a new man crush for Cory Booker. Like, I mean, this guy.
I like Cory. I like Cory Booker. I have issues with Cory Booker, but
dude, that may be. I mean, politically or whatever it is, but I mean, his speech he gave at the Senate hearing.
Yeah.
So the Senate hearing was about DACA and the whole benevolence of it or whatever it was, and the choice of word. I don't know if he practiced this thing or if he was freestyling.
Right.
You got to watch this speech. I mean, he goes about 8, and they're grilling this Homeland Security Secretary, and they beat the shit out of her. Like this girl is sitting there like, yeah, but I'm talking. Yep, and another one, the Democrat from California, Harima. What's her name? She's got.
I know you're talking about light skin
black woman, but she looks. Yeah, she's got like an Indian kind of name.
I know who you're talking about.
Sharima, or something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, and I didn't mean to, but she really goes in, and they're basically like, it's the same thing we talked about with damn, why am I having a brain moment? What's the guy, the Southern guy who dresses up like the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy?
Oh, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, but what's the guy in office?
The guy just like Colonel Sanders in office?
The secretary, what's his name? Fuck.
You're losing me now.
I'm having a moment.
Is it Jeff Sessions? No.
Sessions, yeah.
Oh, okay, he's the Attorney General. Okay.
Yeah, Attorney General.
Okay. Yeah. he dresses like Colonel Sanders?
He does, man. He wears the fucking Colonel Sanders suits and sits on the porch with lemonade and shit like that. And he's like, I don't think y'all understand how government works. And so, they grill, the shit out of these people, and their answer is kind of always the same thing. How'd you get stupid overnight? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
you guys are proposing all this other stuff, and you swear you didn't hear this, you didn't hear that.
Right.
Like, I don't recall. I can't. I don't think that. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the issues that they want to expand on.
Right.
Oh well, the 283 with the 745 and the 640. It's like you. It's conveniently and that's what he says. He said your silence and your amnesia is complicit. Like he broke the. Oh man, it was so emotional. Actually,
it was emotional. It was passionate, and he's. I like Cory Booker. I think if you're a Democrat, and if you're looking at who is like the future round of Democrats, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris is the person.
Kamala Harris, yes.
Kamala Harris
Thank
is
you.
the
Thank you
woman.
very much.
She's another one, and there's a couple other people and stuff. But just like any other politician, they give with one and take with another, and so you have anytime something comes out of a politician's mouth, I think you have to meter it. I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. Yes, I granted it was a very, very passionate speech on a very, very
touchy subject.
A touchy subject and a divisive issue, but at the same time, it's
how far does it go?
How far does it go?
Right.
I mean, does it do anything other than put a smear on that or make that voice be known? That this is the dissenting voice, which you should have.
Good point. Absolutely.
I would like to see more Senate hearings and congressional hearings and more of the notion that, hey, me representing X people in this district think this way about this particular thing and have these questions that we want to answer. I mean, that's what a representative government should look like.
Yeah, the reason I even looked at it that way is because of the last podcast when we talked about, you guys, what was the term? Gerrymandering
districts, right.
And so, looking at it, she was saying how the people in my district believe this. These are what the people are telling me. These are what, that's so important now more than ever, to know that you are being properly represented.
Right.
Because what if the representative goes up and says, yeah, we want, free corn dogs.
Right.
No, we don't
give
a
shit about corn dogs.
Like what? That's what you're going up there fighting for.
Right.
And I think the average person, doesn't
know who your local representation is,
or what they stand for, or what they even are going to the mountain to tell for you.
If we as a society, if we as a society decided that we were going to put our energy, all this energy we have about, Trump is this and Trump is that,
right?
But if we put that energy into our local government, like who is representing you, who is taking their trip to the state capitol or to Washington to say, this is what these people want.
Right.
If we put our focus into that, that's where the change comes. The change doesn't come in what happens from the top down. The change comes when you send your area up.
Yeah.
And then you have some firepower.
Yeah, I strongly believe that.
And that person has to represent you. They have to, if they want your vote,
right,
they have to represent you and hear you. And so that's what we mean by a participating government. You have to participate in those things, in those town halls, and know who those people are. And if you don't like who your local representative is, well, then you should be willing to ask those questions.
Yeah,
and
you should.
And how do I get in touch with this person? And you should make some, I mean, it's funny, we're in this age of technology now. Sometimes a phone call is still the most powerful
thing. You might get through. Yeah, you more than likely will get through on a phone call.
Somebody will answer the phone. Somebody from that office will answer the phone.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think we always take a back seat and saying they should do
They should.
Like when are we going to become the they? Like you know what I'm saying? Like we have to be
When do we? That's a good point. When do we become the they?
When we become they? And it's mighty funny how people just often just do it like no hesitation in just saying it's someone else. Like they should do this.
They should.
I just get so, I always say who's they, you know what I mean? And who's we.
Right.
When are we the they? That's a great...
that's a good one. That's the next t-shirt. When are we the they? When do we become the they? That's the next fucking t-shirt.
Yeah.
When do we become the they?
I might make that today.
When do we become the they? Then you can get on board and we can all
because, it's...
I just had a train of thought. Yeah. It just took me to... What's old girl's name? Monique.
Yeah. Oh. I was gonna go to that too.
Who's complaining about the offer she got from but wants everybody else to boycott Netflix because she didn't like the offer that she got from Netflix.
It was a great segue because I was gonna go there and it was on my next topic too. But my wife and I fight about this a lot about these offers that keep coming, and they're so public now. And I think this is just the unpeeling of the Hollywood onion, as we always talk about, the layers of just. And while she did the right thing, I think
if she felt she's getting undercut, then
I'm not doing.
Don't accept the offer.
Right. But stop with the tell everybody to don't do this and don't do that.
Right.
At the end of the day, people still need things to get themselves by. They need a form of release, which is entertainment. At least provides that for some people, a little bit of escape. You had a hard day's work, we'll come home and watch a good movie, sit back and chill, and don't bug out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but at the same time, the claim you make has to be a claim that is reasonable. When she goes on, she did some interview in which she said she's the most decorated comedian out. Now, I don't know who's decorating these fucking comedians.
I don't know either. I don't know where she got the decoration from. And what kind of decoration.
And when she's
Christmas decorations?
And when you're complaining that you didn't get the same offer that Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle didn't get.
Yeah,
then you're a little...
Amy Schumer, I could understand. If she would have just left it there, I was willing to I was willing to look at the disparity if she just left it at her and Amy Schumer.
But Amy Schumer created, regardless of what you think of Amy Schumer, Amy Schumer, she's pretty funny. Amy Schumer created her own brand.
I think
she created that for herself. So regardless of what you think of her, if you think she is funny, not funny, I know some people make claims that she stole some material. Right. Okay, whatever. Fine. But like you said, if you leave it there, but then you go on to
you bring Chris Rock and Dave
Chappelle, when we're all covered in dust, those two names will be really close to the top of the fucking comedian pinnacle than anything else.
She literally, lost the war by bringing those two guys in. And she should have. I don't know. I'm not saying what she should have did, shouldn't did. I'm happy she spoke her mind and said what she had to say. But if you would just go in at Amy Schumer, I would have said, okay, I see the disparity. A 40-minute, but that what we said does that beg the question of should there be a prevailing wage for a show? Right. Oh, a 40-minute show, no matter who you are, gets it starts at 500,000 and then it goes up. And I think the executives, Netflix is the new Hollywood. Trust me. These guys are becoming. Their studios. They're owning their own movie. They're releasing directly.
Well, it's a new model. It's a new model on how to get stuff done.
But it is, and the good part is it's not centralized in a region.
Right.
There are films being created in Atlanta. There are films are being created in San Diego, in little places, smaller markets that thought they had to move everything to Hollywood and be the studio and all the politics and the 20 million and 80 million. But they're doing movies for $5 million in cost, you know, 3 million, and making 20 million, 30 million.
Well, that's the thing. It always boils down to economics.
Yeah,
you know? Dave Chappelle got 20 million because Netflix said, "Hey, we can make 30 million off of this." You know, Amy Schumer got 11 million because they said, "Hey, we can make 18 million off of this." And that's it. Monique got offered 500 grand because they figured, okay, maybe we'll make $1 million.
Yeah, maybe it'll right. Yeah, you're right.
And so that's what it is. And once again, I think you made a great point. If she doesn't like that offer, then she should not accept that offer.
Not accept it.
Don't accept it.
Not accept it and move on.
Move on, and by all means, just go on and do your own thing and take your talents to where you think your talents are going to be appreciated.
Listen, if that's the case, in my head, I would have said, you know what? I'm going to do a fucking concert. I'm going to release this shit on YouTube and get 30 million views. Then come back with some star power and say, listen, fuck you guys. I did it on my own. And I did a deal with YouTube. And I did
And so now when they come back at you, say, okay, well, now you have to give me X amount of dollars because I've demonstrated that I can bring that.
But if you honestly told me that you put a Monique thing on YouTube and I'd see it when I wanted to. I wouldn't be excited about it. You know, I would only this banter.
Well, now
would be like, okay.
We've created this anticipation. So the next thing she does, if she does something, if she decides to come out with her own.
This got to be fucking kick-ass funny. It's got to be, like, you got to be kick-ass. Like, and you can't talk about this situation.
This can't be the crux of it.
You can't be, I did a deal for this. No, you got to have real good material. So, I'm always confused that, people, like, they don't, the backlash, but the backlash is what's getting you the press. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not have known about this thing had she not have had a rhetoric or whatever.
Asking everybody else to boycott Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think she's a talented Black woman.
Absolutely.
She's got some very accreditation. She's got some good accreditation. But I'm always this disparity in fees and what their people are worth and what they. Now, what I do understand, I'm going back to the Mark Wahlberg one.
The movie he did?
All the money in the world or whatever. And they come back for Thanksgiving for B-roll stuff, for like reshoots.
Okay.
So that's what it was. They called them back on Thanksgiving and said...
Right, hey, because they kicked out Kevin Spacey and they put in Christopher Plummer.
And they wanted to move some things around in the movie.
Right, doing reshoots and shit like that.
So
that's where the extra money came from?
Yeah, well, that's what the $1 million versus a couple $100,000 was between. And I don't even. And me and my wife again fought about this. I don't even know who that lady is. Who the
Michelle Williams?
Michelle Williams.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah. So what I'm saying,
I saw her on Broadway a couple years ago. She's nice. She's good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just because I don't know her doesn't mean she's not all that. It doesn't mean she's an A-lister or whatever else. But if you put me in a room and said, hey, who would you want to go see, a Mark Wahlberg woman or Michelle Williams woman? I wouldn't say, hey.
Right.
But Mark Will, I'd be like, whoa, what Marky? What's he into now?
What's Mark doing now?
Yeah, this should be interesting. If you told me he was remaking, Transformers 17 or whatever, I still would be intrigued to see what he was doing, and because he makes good movies or his character is good.
And if you're gonna do a whole
rant,
if you're gonna do a gender pay thing, which I think is a little bit kind of. You're reaching,
yeah,
but you gotta draw it back a little bit more. I really don't care that a millionaire is making X amount of dollars, but a multimillionaire is making this.
Right.
I care more about the person who's driving the bus, or the person who's or our teachers or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to make sure that those people get paid appropriately.
Oh, you mean in the gender bender, the gender bender mix?
Right. If you're making that argument, I could give a shit about some millionaire making X amount of dollars. Yeah, I really don't care. I mean,
I just thought about that.
I can't get on that. But yes, okay. So if you're telling me that we're paying our female bus drivers less than we're paying our male bus drivers, okay, that's an argument that I can get behind. If we're telling our female teachers that their female teachers are making less money than our male teachers who have equal talents and equal duties. Yeah, okay, duties. That's an argument I can get behind. I can't get behind behind
100%.
somebody who's signing, I signed an $8 million deal. Oh, but he signed an $11 million deal. What? This is bullshit. The patriarchy is fucking... No, you still walked home with $8 million. You're still better than 99.9% of
I didn't think,
of
you know
us.
what? Thanks, because I didn't scale it that way. We kept, because it was just a Hollywood thing, it was just a movie thing, but yeah, I'm all for the gender benders on the regular people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The real people, the people that make a difference. So yeah, school teachers, fantastic idea. And where's that cry? Where's that cry?
Because my argument would be because it doesn't exist. Because in that realm,
so civil service employees are civil service employees. There's what we call a prevailing wage.
Right.
So in construction, painters make this.
Right.
It doesn't matter what job you're working on, even whether you're union or not. So people have this misconception, the union guys make more. No, they have a union wage, which they won't go below, but it's no different than the state's prevailing wage for that services. And anybody working below the prevailing wage is considered unethical. You're like, that's a scab.
That's
a guy that comes in and you bring in some guys in, no race or relationship, but you work for $10, but the prevailing wage is $15.
Okay.
That's different from a minimum wage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A minimum wage for anyone is the number posted, and that's for any job, no matter what the description is.
Right.
But a prevailing wage for a trade service or a skilled worker, etc., does have some hierarchy.
They have
numbers.
Hierarchy, and I think they have, and I think a lot of them have. They don't have floors. Well, it's like some of them are structured to which they have floors but no ceilings, or is it the opposite way around?
No.
You have a ceiling but you don't have a floor.
No, there is no. You can't. It doesn't matter. You can go as high as the person will pay you.
Okay.
But you can't go below.
But you can't go below. So it has a floor, but no ceiling. Okay.
Yeah, the prevailing wage for it is that, and that's posted on the state government's website. Right. I mean, you could look it up. Any employer looking to hire a painter or whatever else, you can go nyc.gov and then go on and say, painter, $15.95.
Right.
Carpenter, this. So whatever skill trade. What happens is the blurred line happens is people say, well, I'm a kind of a job it all kind of guy. I do a little of this, I do a little of that. And then the accreditation of the skill is at question as well. So some guys say, well, I got my painter's degree at so-and-so.
Right, Painter State University.
Right, and I went to, painters.com and got my certificate. No difference. Your skill, the merit of your skill is how good you are, right?
Okay.
So you're only as good as the last job you did. So your references then take precedence. Okay, I have the piece of paper. Yes, I'm a painter. Do you belong to any unions? Yes, I'm with the 101, 203, whatever it is. I'm not speaking any technical. And then, well, what was the last job you worked on? You call up the guy, and the guy says, man, this fucking guy painted, my toilet. He fucked it up. He did this. So you could have
yellow, he said blue.
You could have all the accreditation, on paper. You could be a fuck up. You could still fuck up. In the case of Monique, you could be accredited, but you could put out a shitty document. You could put out a shitty product.
Right.
So it doesn't. So when people get caught up on this, it should be a prevailing wage. That is true, but the merit of your product,
right? Your that balances it.
That's the balance.
Because then you look to an alternative.
And that's where you. I'm sorry. That's where you get ceiling money. That's where you get
right.
You're getting floor money. That's what $500,000 is not fucking bad.
Right.
You mean to tell me if I went to Netflix and said, "Hey, I want to do a special. I heard 500 is the minimum."
Right.
And who are you, motherfucker? Well,
some guy.
I'm in the union. And I make shows. We want to put 2brospodcast on here. And we want to show. We want 500,000. No, no one will watch. Maybe no one will watch. Maybe So that I don't think that it deserves it just because it's a line, because then that would be unfair. That would be damn near communism or
borderline. And then you look at, because when you look at trades, okay, these are people who actually perform a skill. Right. They perform a skill, and that skill needs to be performed.
Yeah.
You go into areas in which we're now figuring out, hey, we don't really need people to do this. Yeah. You go into like the big box stores now that are doing more automated checkouts. Yeah. The fast food stores who now I think at the Panera Bread that's out here, there's not even a person there to take your order. You go there and it's on an iPad.
Tablet, yeah.
You put your order in. Your order's number 69 or whatever. Shit. You wait 69. There's your order. That's it.
Pay, tap and pay. Yeah.
Right. So rather than say, okay, well, I got to pay this person X amount of dollars, I'll make more money if I, implement this form of technology. I think in some Walmarts, they don't even have checkout people anymore.
Well, some Stop and Shop here at Oceanside does it like that, where you can take a pistol, like they have
you get your own scanner.
You get your own scanner. Yeah. You throw your shit in your boom. You go as tag as you go, and the good part is you can see your stuff.
See your itemized stuff.
You see sales. You see this. You type in your PIN, which has tells you how much points you have.
Right.
It's not a bad system.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet that they've somehow looked at it as pound for pound because, well, some stores have the weighted shopping cart. Right. You put the shopping cart on. From the items you scan, they have a net weight of X and a tolerance level. So, yeah, maybe you threw an extra grape in there, you got it over. But pound for pound, when you take away the cost of a cashier.
Right. Exactly.
They don't care if you walk away with an extra cookie.
Exactly.
They don't care if you walk away with an extra cracker.
Some places are doing it. Some places have apps now that you can download. You can download.
Yes, yeah. You can download the app.
You can shop.
Walk through the store.
You can scan it and do whatever, and then you see your thing, like you said, it's an itemized thing, and then you have is your credit card information in there? Yeah, you put your credit card information. That's it. There you go. That's your stuff.
I mean, it's helpful. It's helpful if you can budget properly. You can now what it does is it takes away from the little kid getting a store shop job.
Right.
But then you become a shelf stocker. You know what I'm saying? Like the jobs that are there are more. To be honest with you, they're more menial than the cashier, because the cashier, while it is a good job. That's usually, like we always say, you're the problem. You're slowing the lineup. You don't know the difference between parsnip and parsley, and you're fucking looking at me like, I don't know. You work here, like And I've been there. I've been a cashier. My wife has a dead stop, no male cashier. Like she will never go to a man.
Really?
At a cash register.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so your wife's a sexist?
Yep.
Okay.
But she won't admit it. She won't admit it. She's a sexist. She'll be like, see, men cashier. And then when she does take the chance, he proved me right. I said, yeah, well,
You probably started off this
I've been on lines with women and they're just as bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the gum smackers and the texters and this girl told me, oh, hi, hold on. Oh, she lit. Oh, I'm like, what? Oh, she's wearing a blue dress, and I told her like, hi, can I help you? Like, geez, I thought I was the customer here. No, this is bullshit. Like, it's like people just, stores and retail has gotten to the point where it's like these kids just don't get it. They're so dreaming. They're so dreaming about a better life and a digital life and an Instagram life, and so when they go in and work at a store, they don't give it their all. They're always thinking about
that transaction with people.
Yeah,
it's not a. Yeah, they don't know how to do it.
They've lost it. They really
know how to do it.
No, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, look, you see it all the time. When I was at the bar watching the fight last night, you look around at different tables and you see a bunch of people. At the table, everybody on their phone, and it fucking baffles me. Yeah, you're there for an event with certain people. You've made a choice that these people around here are going to be people that you are going to engage in this
worthy of engagement.
Why the fuck do you give more attention to that phantom whatever on your damn phone?
I don't know. It seems to be a reoccurring topic. I mean, reoccurring topic.
I just don't get it. I just don't get why is this perceived interaction better than this actual interaction that you can have with people, that you could talk to somebody, hey, how's that beer? You like that? Oh, I don't like this beer. Yeah. Hey, you see that girl is, or whatever. Or have that conversation, or watch the damn event that you're doing and then comment on that event.
Well, even at that point, the event itself becomes irrelevant. Like, they're not there to even watch the event. So we went to the bar after the last episode, right? A bunch of guys were all hocked up on, their team, etc. And I don't know, even as raunchy as it was, where guys were pushing and shoving each other, at least they were interacting. Like, mind you, it's negative interaction.
Negative interaction.
But they were at least human. Like, So the average person on a phone is going, they're touching each other. Like, and in the old days, that would have been, get the fuck out of here, man.
Right.
Sit. And then you saw what that guy did. He said,
Yeah.
yo, chill out. You drunk, man. Sit the fuck down, man. Relax. Have a good time. You're in a bar, for Christ's sakes. And like the girl that came over, she was like, yeah, it's a bar. You know,
right. You're supposed to talk to
people.
You're supposed to talk to people.
Sorry, you know. And so, you know, that it is a dying breed. It's a dying thing. It's something that's, you know, not happening anymore. But so I just watched there's a five episode series, again, Netflix. Sorry, Monique fans.
Sorry, Monique.
Sorry, Monique.
We're watching. I'm not canceling my subscription.
It's called Rotten.
Rotten?
Rotten.
Why do I've seen that? Why have I? What
it just came out this week, I think, and it was the first time I saw it. You know, these things pop up on. I think you'd like this. You know, and that's where I get creepy with it.
Yeah, I know. Like what?
Because you watch.
watch this,
you might like this. So I watched Rotten, and it blew me away. It blew me away because it picked 5 different foods that have a dark lineage to them.
What have I seen? If it probably comes up in the thing every once
when
in
you
a
get
while.
a chance,
I mean, the name. I see the name.
Yeah.
As,
it's a documentary. It's a 5-point documentary. The first one, peanut allergies.
Oh, what does it say about peanut?
Oh man, it goes into the you know, first of all, it covers what we said before, how bullshit it is, but it goes into why they think, and then they're baffled by it. They're saying we just have, you know, obviously it's something we're doing that's changing it, and the one doctor at the kind of in the whole thing, her whole role is saying we have, as humans, have taken too much fucking antibiotics.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why.
It's a saint and a devil all at the same time.
It may cure you for what you have, but it's preventing you from your body going through the motions, as they call. That's the old way of saying it. And so at an age when you have babies getting antibiotics and all this stuff, so they need those germs at baby level.
Right.
So when you ward off all these things, it's good. You're super clean, but you're super prone to infection.
Right.
So any little thing will infect you.
Right, now because your body can't deal with anything new that it comes along and sees. So
it speaks to a language of the how the Matrix with people in pods and just saying, it says at some point these people are bubble kids. They're gonna only live in a capsule and can be fed through a tube of certain nutrients. And their only role in society could be maybe on a computer, that they can just sit there and do computer work. That's weird.
Right. That is weird.
That you're breeding this,
breeding a more isolated society.
Not that it's a nefarious plan to let's get everyone. It's just happening by happenstance. It's evolution.
Right.
So the more things we try to prevent ourselves from, we've actually hurt ourselves, and now we have to live in this new. Oh, he's got germs.
Right.
You know, this germophobic society.
I mean, you take that back to when Europeans came on this continent. You know. Like a lot, we went. Well, we'd like to say that Europeans just slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, and that, I mean, yes, that is the case in some instances. But for the most part, Europeans came across with a certain amount of germs and parasites and whatnot that they were used to, that the people who were native here were not used to.
Yeah,
and it killed a lot of them off, and they got diseases and they got infections that they were just their bodies were not equipped to handle, and that's what killed them, and that's what killed them, made them sick and stuff like that. And so what that doctor was saying is, if you created an isolated society, then when you introduce something new into that society, you run the risk of killing it all. So now then the response to that would be what? The response to that outside pathogen into your insulated, non-infected world would be what?
Interestingly enough, it does somehow. Like, this documentary has different components, and when you watch them all, it makes sense to what you just asked. The whole thing makes sense.
I gotta watch it.
You gotta kind of watch it, but it goes into. I'll give you the disciplines that goes to peanuts, which is the whole thing, to the point of showing where a guy was arrested a restaurant owner for making curry with peanuts in it, and he was arrested. Arrested because the guy died. Guy's throat swole up.
Arrested.
Is Zamir, Indian fella. He owned about 4 or 5 restaurants in London. Okay. He was making curry sauce. He had a peanut Thai sauce or whatever with his stuff, a tiki masala or whatever, And in London, I will say that everywhere we went, they love curry.
Yes.
It's the
number one. It's the number one dish.
James and the rest of our family.
Yeah.
Let's go to the curry spot. Let's go. I was like, okay, enough with the curry, man. Like,
I could do that like once every 2 weeks. You motherfuckers do it like every meal.
They do it every night. They love it. It's great. It's great food, and I like it too. But I don't like that much curry like that. But they go peanuts. The second one is honey.
Okay.
And these are all how they talk about the business is booming evolution market of this. But here's the nefarious side of it.
Okay.
Guys are going to jail. Guys are getting $30 billion in stealing. They go to the bee. This guy stole $1 million worth of bees. How do you steal a fucking $1 million worth of bees?
Jesus Christ.
The guy was like, he went to his bee farm. He was been harvesting these bees and his honey. Like, this is his only thing. And he'd been waiting. He put the machine through all this stuff and tested them. Went home. Came back in the morning, drove there. He was like, honey, where are the bees? She was like, well, I was with you last night. I didn't fucking move him. And he saw his crates and stuff snapped off. They stole all his bees.
Now, who's they?
So the police said, there's got to be another bee guy. Who fucking
who else would
random
take,
guys don't come
bees?
And go, hey, this would be a great college prank. Let's steal bees. $1 million worth of them. He said it had to be another guy who knows how to handle bees.
Right.
So they went after all these guys. But what do? Lift the fucking wing up? Yo, that's my bee.
Exactly.
And then 1 million of them at that. And it's great story. Then it goes into garlic. The farming of garlic.
Really?
You would never, like, these are simple things that you just don't think of that way. The fourth one, chicken. Okay, we all know
we all got ideas
crazy
about
what's going on with chicken. And the last one was milk.
Yeah.
So the answer to all of the answer, what you just said, how you proposed what's the answer? All of them said the same thing. If we go back to being local, and this town eats from this farm, this town eats from this place, and we centralize and localize our food so that we don't have to worry about transport. We don't have to worry about traveling. We don't have to worry about, because that's where the problem happens.
Right.
The packaging of it, the processing of it, to get it to, these guys are sending fucking chickens to halfway around the world. They gotta pump them with all kinds of crazy shit to make them last, and refrigeration and
antibiotics and all that shit.
And each one of these episodes, you'll love this because each one of them has a dark twist where some fucking guy went and turned the thermostats up in the chicken coop, boiled all their chickens, turned it up to 180 degrees. Motherfucker came in.
Chickens can't catch a fucking break. You know what I mean?
Yo. You see, this guy is in South Carolina, of all places, a chicken farm in South Carolina. And the guy was like, I went to my chickens and they were cooked. All of them, dead. 100,000 chickens he's got that he's going to bring to market and this and that. Dead. And he's crying and he's like, who would do this? Who would do this? It turns out that the guy worked for the Pilgrim Farms, which is the big chicken company, whatever. He worked for them. He was fired. And then he said, fuck it, I'm going to go to the place where you buy your chickens from and sabotage them.
Jesus Christ.
The fucking guy. Bad guy. So when you hear these stories like, they're making a recall, they found something and something, it's one.
A lot of times it could be just
one disgruntled person. Could fuck up a nation. He could put all this poison into it. So it's a great documentary. It has a lot of has a lot of talking points. It's very dialogue-y, so you gotta be in a kind of a dialogue mood. You know? But it was like one of those I just couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. Like I couldn't put it away. So very interesting. The garlic one was really ill.
I would never think that there are issues with garlic. I just don't think of that. You buy bowls of
4% of garlic comes from China.
Really?
94% of it. Every bulb you see in the supermarket
is more likely from China.
He said this is the only place that's growing. You have 2 or 3 farms locally down in South Carolina, and they're dying. They're just they can't catch a break. I can't. You got to watch this thing. There's a family that was growing garlic here, in the Carolinas, somewhere down south, and they got hit with a RICO charge.
For racketeering?
Yes.
Of garlic?
Of garlic. Unbelievable. I looked at this thing and I was like, wait, RICO? That's a racketeering charge. What do you mean you're getting a RICO for just putting out bulbs of garlic? And yes, they were charged with cornering the market. And I was like, we're the only fucking guys here. What do you mean? Like, wow. And that it's a deep one. You'd like it. You'd like it because it has that edge to it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, what you can do locally will always be better than what you can do as that expands out. But then you get that bullshit that a small guy that grows garlic is now.
Said it. He said, "I got nothing. I got that. Sue me for what, dude? What? I barely could eat. I barely could feed my family. If we don't eat garlic every night, we ain't eating. Like this is like you're killing me here, and it's a super way. It really shows. It shows a flaw in our government. Number one, it shows a flaw in our government's agricultural system, and the way it monitors it, and that the laws, even to the point of the guy who set the chicken place ablaze, they couldn't charge the guy. They charged him. They caught him. They picked him up on a warrant because his cell phone pinged.
Okay.
At every night, pinged closely in proximity to where the
offense took place.
It didn't happen on just one farm. He did it to all the farms that were supplying to this one pilgrim place.
Okay.
So he was destroying their crop, and they caught him on cell phone pings, and the judge said, "Okay, that's enough for a warrant." And the same judge didn't even prosecute him on it. He says,
"Really?"
He says, "Not enough evidence." And he says, "But you gave us the warrant.
You gave us the warrant to find it.
It's the same evidence. The same reason why we picked him up." He says, "Yeah, it was enough to pick him up, but you're saying is far-fetched."
Wow. What the chef with the peanuts? So why was he arrested?
Okay, so he was arrested because this is an interesting story. He was arrested because not one of his restaurants, but a couple of them were people had these peanut allergy reactions to. Okay. But he'd been operating for 20 years. Okay. And they keep saying, it was like, I don't know how it hasn't happened sooner. Why? The evolution of people have changed. Right. And this is all, by the way, British. These were all in London and so forth.
Okay.
They say that here in America we have tougher. We're not as sensitive as in London because they completely get rid of. They're completely antibiotics. Like they live on them. Like,
okay.
They use a lot of them.
Okay.
We use very little, but we eat more shit.
Okay.
And we constantly just poison ourselves, and we become indestructible.
Okay.
You know? That's why you see a bum that lasts forever. This guy didn't fucking die yet.
Why'd you dead?
This guy's not dead. You know why? Because he's just adapted. You can eat garbage.
He's preserved on chips and fucking.
You can live long. You know what I'm saying? So this guy who gets arrested, allegedly, first of all, the young lady, it was a girl, a kid, 15-year-old kid out with her friends, and they were at the mall, and they went and got some curry and whatever else. But the guy that died was a young, 20-year-old, 25-year-old guy, whatever else. So the long story is that he and they put these two stories parallel of the mom is saying her daughter broke out in these purple hives, look like raspberries and all kinds of stuff. But the guy who he was hanging out at a pub with some fellas. He went and they had a tavern. They was drinking pints, and he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna order my stuff and then take it home." And he ate his food and went. And he told the guy, he says, "Listen, I have peanut allergies. I want a nut-free meal. Make sure." And they said, "Sure, no problem." And it was written on no peanuts. On it was the little styrofoam, not the styrofoam, the aluminum one with the paper top. Right. It said no peanut on it, literally. And this guy is dead. He was sorry to hear, condolences. But so they kept investigating. They took the samples of the food. They pumped some of the stuff out of his intestines or whatever, and did all this testing. And then they went and said, this guy, who's the owner? What's this? And they told him, they sent in an agent to buy our meals, ask for it themselves. Mm-hmm. We'd like enough free meal. Can we have 2 of this, like a family? Mm-hmm. They took the stuff, took it right to the lab, Mm-hmm. Now, the one part I got, annoyed with is, if that had happened to me and a Chinese food place gets me sick, who do you call? Do you call the cops and they say, "Yeah, well, let's go take samples of those people"?
Right? Yeah.
They won't do that for us. I don't. This is where I got
how to get there.
Yeah,
how did you who
you call?
Right.
You called some special food agency and they came and picked up bags of your intestines and stuff like that. So that was where I was kind of a little far fetched with. But okay, it's London. Yeah. And then they went and took samples of this food, and then they took and they put it in labs, and it was like definitely breaks down as peanuts. They broke the protein, they separated, they said peanuts. And the guy even says it on the menu, peanut free. Mm-hmm. Says it. So they got him on negligence, negligible homicide, some shit like that. And he insisted. He says, "We don't use peanut. We don't use peanut." So how'd they catch him? They went in, they confiscated all his fucking purchase orders, all his food, all his supply orders, his recipes, the chef, the this, the that, and it says, for the dish that both people got killed on, it requires almond powder. Okay. Now, funny thing is, I learned something is that peanuts grow in the ground and almonds grow in a tree. So tree allergies and peanut are 2 different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess how they pollinated or whatever else. But the almonds are expensive, powdered almonds. So he was buying powdered peanut.
Oh.
So you got the flavor and the nutty flavor, but
it came from peanuts.
And while he said, I didn't do it, like he ratted his chef out. He ratted out the guy who he says, "Yo,
but he's the owner.
He's the owner. Yeah. He's the owner of France. And it just so happened that a Yam Japur Indian restaurant. Now this is like 2017. This is like last year,
right?
2016 into 17. This is new. These are not old fogey cases. And they picked him up, and he went to a grand jury. Grand jury found him fucking guilty. It was like negligence because his signature was on all the payments to the suppliers.
Right.
And they clearly highlighted it. It said 10,000 grams peanut powder. You bought it. You paid for it. You ordered it. You put a purchase order together. And they sent this guy to 10 years.
Oh!
10 fucking years. 10 years, they said he'll probably get out 8 or whatever else. And he's got some, they close his business down.
That's a shame. But you know what? I think in that scenario, I can understand that.
Well, because it results in a death now.
Right.
So it does beg another question.
Right. Okay.
They have our rating system like ABC. Mm-hmm. So where are the guardians of this? Where are the people that are going to, that you pay a fee to? Mm-hmm. You pay these hours is what the Food and Drug FDA
food and stuff like that.
So you got to pay.
Well, in New York, it's the New York City Department of Health.
Right, so, Department of Health. Right. So, at what point do they go in and now in this case, what would have stopped this would have been some random auditing of your ingredients.
Right.
So these guys check, like let's just say Amazon knows what you're buying. You're buying everything through Amazon. They can look at your stuff and go, oh, you could pick up. Why not? Now, this is where we always say technology, what good is it for? This is where algorithm technology would work. If you took the receipts of a guy at a store that constantly buys this and you monitor him who's providing food, nutrients, food, but then your computer goes beep, 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 beep. He's buying a shitload of peanuts. What's going on? Let's go look at this guy. Let's see. That would be helpful.
Right.
Not to spy on me because I watch porn on Tuesday and then do this and So this is where that kind of technology does come in handy, but you never hear them talking about what it could do good. They always talk about the nefarious side of it.
Right.
So that was the story, and it's very interesting. It's called Rotten.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah. But sorry to take so much time on.
No, but that's fascinating.
That, but it is a fascinating documentary, and I'm a huge. I mean, I love docs.
Yeah.
It's almost a genre by itself that just becomes. I just look at them like, wow, how do these guys do it? Like you compile a lot of data, and voiceover, talking, and this.
When they're good, I like documentaries because it's better than it's sometimes better than that created world of fiction.
Yeah, I don't like the I don't really like the ones that when they reenactments and
oh yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because
I love how when you see like a reenactment and they show you interviewing the actual guy. And he's like some fat, hairy, sloppy dude. But then the reenactment is some fucking model who's just like
some swirly,
like chiseled jaw and shit like that.
It gets a lot of that sometimes, and I just get like, come on, man, like really, like just tell the story and let people, because you're actually forcing an imagination on people with a visual, like
right.
That's what you believe happened. And I don't think it always happens that way. So.
Right. Well, I think, and also look like the scenario, like she was so in love with him, and then there's a producer going, yeah, but we're not going to believe that somebody was in love with you. So let's create this other image of you, and we'll go with that.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
That's good. Print. Yeah, man. So what else is going on? We got AFC, NFC championships today. Game at 3, game at 6.
There's that weird schedule. Last weekend was the last weekend of good football. Now there's no more good football. You got these two games are usually not great games. Last weekend you had a couple of great games. It's like the end. It's like it signals the end of football season if you enjoy football.
But you would I
would into that championship thing, and so people go into the Super Bowl and then. Whatever the fucking halftime show is, and you get all the spectacle that's involved with that and shit. And so
we got Justin Timberlake at the halftime show this year.
I have no idea.
I think so. They got just JT coming back out.
I've never cared about it. The only one I've watched was when Prince did a halftime show.
Really?
Prince did a halftime show. I can't remember what year it was. I can't remember what Super Bowl it was. I just remember that's the only halftime show I ever watched.
I'm a fan of the halftime show more than I am the game. I like I like the game. I like the commercials.
Can't stand it.
I like that more than I like the game because I'm not a fan. I'm not a true football fan.
Right.
Like I'll like a team.
So you want the entertainment value of it.
Yeah, I do like the entertainment value. I hate the cheesy commercials that when you get a cheesy pick of commercials and they're running with this one like, oh, this was the best commercial ever. And
you're like, nah.
Like this Doritos, whatever, this hybrid thing with this monkey, chicky baby, whatever. Stop. Just stop, man. Like, that was such a stretch. Like that's a thing. Like, no, man. And so, I don't know. I do like those. I like the Beyonce show when she did it. I like the Janet Jackson, of course. Was that the halftime show, or was that just a? No,
that was that was the last time Justin Timberlake did it. Yeah, and he ripped off Janet Jackson's
wardrobe malfunction,
thing, and it became this whole thing.
Yeah,
it became this whole like we vilified Janet Jackson, but we kind of told Justin Timberlake, "Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
you were kind of the victim here." I said, "No, he kind of partook in the fucking event. If you're gonna cast a die, can we cast the die equally? Like he took part of it. He was part of the deal."
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this vilifying is a problem, but so is it a shoo-in that New England? And
I think it's about I think New England going to the Super Bowl is about as a shoo-in as you can get in professional sports. Right now.
Shannon Sharp got into some very choice words with with his co-host. What's the other guy?
Skip Bayless.
I can't stand it.
Whose brother is a professional chef.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
His brother is a chef named Rick Bayless.
Oh.
Who does he's big into Mexican style cooking. He's got a couple restaurants in Chicago and stuff. So he's a celebrity chef. So it's kind of, I don't know why I brought that up, but but Shannon Sharp is an opinionated dude. I mean, he usually speaks his mind, and it's not uncommon for him to get in a little.
No. Yeah,
dip his toes into some water.
Right, and he says it from a point well taken. Like, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've accomplished this. I played this. I've had fractures. I've had MRIs. And the topic was when they said Brady hurt his hand or something last week or something.
Okay.
And that he's can't do something or can't. Now, Shannon went on by saying it's bullshit. Okay? He's not as hurt as you think that they're saying he's hurt as. So Skip kept saying, are you saying that Tom Brady faked an injury? He's saying, no. I'm defending the fact that while he may have a scratch, he may have somehow the organization is upplaying it.
Right.
And everyone's saying, oh, poor Brady. You know what I mean? Like the poor Brady fans, like, man, he's hurt, he's this. So that when he shines in the Super Bowl, he'll look fucking fantastic and say, oh, and he played with a broken hand with a skip.
See, unfortunately, what happens is, what we don't like to say is that there is a factor that plays into what happens in these games. Yeah. And that factor is the betting line.
Okay. So yes, they brought that up specifically. And Shannon was saying, why would you put this out? Why would you put this out knowing that Vegas is going to eat and run with this? And this changes everything.
Changes the betting line. Yep. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of money. People saying, wait a minute. Jackson, New England was favored by like 10. Now they're only favored by 6. I could put some more money on Jacksonville to see if they don't cover this. And yes.
So I think he got in trouble. I think Shannon got in trouble for saying something more in the lines of, come on, guys. He said, this is all about the Vegas, what did he say? He called it the Vegas something, the Vegas effect or whatever.
Well, that is an influence. And that is an influence. When they get this information, that is an influence.
So Skip is saying, are you saying the Patriots are involved in this? Like they specifically put this out to sway this entry?
Right, okay.
So that's where the line, who's doing it? Like, who's they?
Right, who's they? The we. Make the fucking t-shirt. Right. When do we become the they?
We're going to make that today. We'll make that today.
It is a good... First of all, if you look at the New England Patriots, ever since Tom Brady became who he is, like the quarterback in the league, his name has always been on the questionable list. Always. Every week.
Yeah. I guess they find things
fun. No, just they just do that. They just do that. The Patriots always do that. Bill Belichick always does that. His name is always on the questionable list. Questionable, Tom Brady, quarterback, always. He's always been on that. Yes. That why they do it, I don't know. I think it's like to alleviate any type of speculation. I think it's to cover them in case he is actually injured.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there isn't this huge attention.
Okay.
We haven't paid attention to it that much.
So this is like keeping your expectations low. I think it's. And then when he outperforms, it's
right.
Well, this is like when Michael Jordan. Oh, he's got the flu, but he scored like 50 points. Or
right.
Something.
Like you create another notch in the myth.
Yeah, you keep an ailment on him. Oh, right. He's sick too, and I think 12 other players.
I think that's the first thing I said when I walked in your house. I said, "This is much ado about nothing. This is nothing's gonna change.
Yeah."
Nothing's, I doubt if he's that injured to say that he hurt himself in practice. Okay. Right. I mean, it happens all the time.
Right.
But to the level of, and it probably started from some sideline dude.
Yeah.
And some reporter over here and said, yeah, man, I heard he busted his hand, man. He might not go. And somebody went with that.
Could be.
And somebody went.
It could be on purpose too, like a rabble rouser. Somebody that was
a purposeful rabble rouser.
Right. Somebody that's involved in. Go. You see that guy's from the New York Weekly. You go over there and whisper in his ear and tell him because they saw you in the huddle. Like you could have been in the huddle. Like I've been in places with some quote unquote celebrities or whatever, and you walk away and you're all right, cool, man, give you a high five. What you guys talking about? What? How you know him? What's going on? I said hello. The guy shook my hand, and so what? I don't know. But I could tell that other person anything,
right? And they
would go with it. They would go with it.
Right?
Yeah, he said he's going to the party. He's going home. No.
I was in the gym earlier this week, and apparently some professional
workout
guy was in there. I didn't recognize who he was or whatever. Some guy that makes, I don't know if he was a power lifter or bodybuilder or whatever, but he was just one of these dudes. People following him around and stuff like that and whatever. I didn't recognize him who he was.
Right.
So I'm done. I'm getting ready to leave, and some dude walks up to me and says, hey, you saw so-and-so in there? I said, yeah, I see he's like, he's got a little entourage with him. I don't know who that is, but and the dude said, yeah. So we think all these steroid guys. And I said... And to me, it just clearly was I need somebody to say something so that I can
validate
something else.
Because you want.
And I just said, well, I don't know who he is, so I don't, whether he does or does not sterilize. I have no idea. I don't know who that is. I gotta go.
It happens to me a lot with like anything to do with these reality people, Kardashians and stuff.
Oh.
Like some of my friends will be like, "Yo, did you hear this?" No.
No, I don't pay attention to that.
And I do like if they walk by, I made it a point to not know who they are. Like if she walked by, I'd be like, "That's a pretty girl. Maybe she looks attractive," but I wouldn't know that that's Kim Kardashian. Like I wouldn't know what they look like. You know what I'm saying? And people go, you're not up on things. You don't know. I was like, no, I choose not to.
Yeah.
I choose not to know who these people are because they don't put money in my pocket.
Yeah,
knowing them doesn't help me. Like knowing who they are or what they're doing. Or now, if you told me she's done something philanthropic and she's put a school up, and then I would say, wow, this is interesting. Right. This is something that she, or whatever. But just to know someone to exist and she had ice cream today.
Like, ooh. I remember a few years back. I was in I was uptown. I was going to where was I? I was in Midtown East, and I saw Aisha Tyler get into a cab. She's a comedian.
Okay,
she's a comedian, and she now is on like CSI, or she's on one of those shows or whatnot.
Okay.
I think she's funny, but I saw her, and she was getting into a cab, and I said to myself, "Oh, this is my chance to say hello." So I yelled out. I said, "Aisha, love your." I said, "Aisha, love your work." And she looked at me and went, and got in the cab. And I immediately said, "You know what? Fuck you." and I said that pretty much to get on myself.
Right.
Like, see, this is what happens when all of a sudden you like decide you're going to elevate somebody to something. Now you got shot down, and now I'm upset with myself that I allowed that to happen.
But I'm constantly thinking that they don't want it. Like they want it, but they don't want it. Like
they want it. Well, they want. I would think they want it when they want it.
Right. On demand, like at a
when
red
time,
carpet,
right?
When they're dressed up, when
they're ready for it and stuff.
I mean, I can remember we were at dinner. We were at dinner, me and my wife.
Why you very low in your voice?
No. I'm dialing down the story. Yeah, I'm setting up the story. We were at dinner at TGI Fridays, and a guy was standing with his lady or whatever, and he was over there, and he was like, "You make my shirts." I'm like, "Cool, man. Yo, I love it. Yo, man. Yo." And I was like, "What do you want to do? He wants to buy me a drink. He wants to," and I'm like, "Okay, man, cool, man. It's a t-shirt. Like,
it's a t-shirt.
I'm not a celebrity or nothing." And he's like, "Nah, man. Yo, I'm trying. I showed them all my people. They want to get this. They want that." And I'm like, "All right, cool, man. Cool."
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, "What the fuck is that guy?" And I'm like,
"I have no fucking idea." Get your little dose of celebrity there.
Yeah, but I didn't want. I liked it. I didn't want it. Like right. That you like it to be recognized for your work.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at. I like to see more people when they wear my stuff and they don't know I'm the guy that made it. Like guy walking by and he's got his little cool swag on and stuff like that, and he made it. And I'm like, damn, I made that shirt. Or my wife will text me. She was like, I think he's wearing one of your shirts, like the Mason shirts. I mean, we did the Mason.
I get comments on when I wear the Mason hoodie. I get comments on that all the time.
All the time. I mean, even his family, God bless, they were fortunate enough and nice enough to give us the permission to do it. And that was a classy way of doing it. Like we went to them first, went to the family and said, "Hey, we'd love to
do this."
He was very well loved. He was from the hood. A lot of us knew him from the neighborhood, from the proper and from, hanging out. We'd love to do a tribute shirt on him. And we sent them a package, and they signed off on it. It's a good thing. So I like that side when you see people wearing it. But sometimes, the silent soldier is good enough for me. Just being quiet and being in the background. But I think you're right. I think celebrities like it when they want it, when they don't get. But then when they don't get it for a while, they start getting thirsty, and then it's like, hey, no one's talking about me.
There were these dudes who were talking about Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton was at the height of her thing.
God,
they said she would. Like, they would see the paparazzi. She would run in a direction, but she would slow down. She would leave, and so when she's out of view, she would stop and then all of a sudden start slowing down and stuff until they caught up, and then she started running again. So
That's fucking hilarious.
So dudes would say, yeah. So sometimes a lot of people do this shit on purpose. They do the thing. Like they would get, this guy was saying, he would get announcements that so-and-so celebrity is going to be at this place and they're going in the back entrance. So why are they getting this fucking announcement?
Right, exactly.
You know, why are they proclaiming that, hey, they're sneaking into the back? Well, who are they getting it from? Well, you're getting from this person's pub people.
There's a clip with her, like, she became this big club DJ at one point. Paris Hilton.
Was she legit?
Allegedly.
Or did she just push?
But there's a clip. There's a clip that killed it. There's a clip with her on the headphones. And she's doing she got the headphones on her, and the guy camera pans, and there's no fucking power cord in the mixer. There's not even a power cord, and they go, and they're like, and she's jamming away. She's playing a fucking for laptop or whatever. It's probably a pre-made song.
The guy has to be,
and she memorized the all that EDM shit is easy to do, And the guy's panning at the thing, and he goes, dun dun. And he zooms in on the power, no power cord in the fucking mix. I was like, oh, Jesus. Shit. You can't even fake it all the way? Like,
I know, right? You can't even plug the shit in. You can't even
plug the shit all the way in.
Can you at least plug it in so at least
it looks real?
Let's fake it all the way. But just part of it. I think tomorrow is a National DJ Day.
Is it?
I saw something. I can't remember. I think it was on my Instagram feed. I saw some shit like that.
I want to know what agency is putting these national days out.
Let's pick a day. Let's pick.
But who is this authority?
No, there is none. There can't be. There's no, because then you say what? There are fucking committee meetings in which people say, okay, we've got
we're in control of the calendar. The Gregorian calendar, which is what we go by, right? Mm-hmm. It's a Gregorian calendar.
Yes.
So is there a Gregorian calendar committee? Is it? Who puts these things, print them? I mean, somebody's got to do it. I mean, we know the known ones, right? The Columbus, the that. Right. But is someone in government in charge of the
nationals?
Because they call them federal holidays, right? So some of them that are federal, like bank days.
Right. So in which business?
So that's a real
actual business. I think the main thing is the stock trading. Is there business transactions happening on the trade market that day? Right. So that determines whether something is a federal holiday or not.
Technically, for me, and when Martin Luther King versus Columbus and all that other stuff happened, they said, no, Martin Luther King's a federal holiday. It didn't get accepted until the banks closed.
Right.
And once banks said, we're not open on this day.
Right.
Then they said, it's a real holiday.
Right.
Which is fucked up because it wasn't the honoring of the day. It was because that there's no business, like the banks are closed. You might as well fucking stay home anyway.
Right, exactly.
Can't get any done. No stock trading, no this and that.
Right, no trading. There's nothing. So you give the banks a day.
Right.
Yeah, the banks can't do any transactions, so they can keep all their money and they can get another day of interest or whatever.
Only
like that.
Emergency services and must be services. But there's got to be some freaking way. It's National Brother, Sister Day, Siblings Day. It's Donut Day. It's now there's some places I'm like, it's Donut Day again?
Right, like it have like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's National Chocolate Donut Day. Oh, okay, that's different from Glazed Donut Day. But I don't know. There's this every day. It's something.
Let's make this Friday. This Friday is Paper Cup Coffee Day. National Paper Cup Coffee Day.
Okay.
This Friday coming up.
What's the date?
Which will be Friday. Today's what, the 20th? 21st? No, today's 23rd.
Today's the 20. Yeah. Oh,
Jesus. Today's the 23rd. Yeah, if you only had a device that had all this information. I don't have my phone. My phone is today's the 21st.
Okay.
21st. Tomorrow's the 22nd, Monday. This Friday, we have decided, 2 Bros Podcast has decided that this Friday is National Paper Cup Coffee Day. So in other words, your coffee should be in a paper cup.
Right. Not these little crazy little flasks.
No flasks. Paper cup.
Paper cup.
Boop. National Paper Cup Coffee Day. You know, maybe that'll be the next fucking T-shirt. Who knows? We'll see what he can crank out.
You know, there was I think it was a show or something where the guy, he's like a scam artist or whatever, and he says, "Yo, man, I invented the coffee lid.
The lid?
Yeah, the pull back and stick down. Okay. That was me. You know what I'm saying? So the guy, and like, really? Wow, how can I? Oh, he's like a scam artist, but he didn't do it. He's a scam artist, and he went through like, so maybe it was a TV show or something, and that was like his thing. He was like, yo, I invented the the cup lid, the coffee lid. Stops you from burning. It's got the reservoir and this and that. Wow, so much thought went into that. He's like, yeah. I'm a millionaire now.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Who do you see? I don't see the. Remember the old Greek cups? Yeah. I don't see those around anymore.
Only at the Greek places anymore.
I don't see those. It used to be like you can find them like on the street corner when you like the guys like have the carts and you get the shitty coffee out of the cart. But
well, you just explained it.
The Greek coffee cups
because it's associated with shitty coffee. Like everyone went for the Starbucks look. Everyone went for the white, either the white look, with the gourmet look. Everybody went with the gourmet
definition,
showing a steaming pot of coffee. Coffee sucks, Yeah.
My wife would do that. My wife would we got at home. We got a Keurig and she bought syrup and stuff that she wants and whatnot. But then she will go out and get a cup of coffee, and I'm like, you got all the shit for your coffee here.
Tastes better there.
Yeah, she says, "Oh, they get better," and I think she likes the
experience.
Well, she goes to the same one, so there's kind of like a little, like a celebrity notion to it. Like they know her and they know how she likes her coffee. So she walks in, she sees the same people. She doesn't have to say anything.
But that is the thing.
Or whatever.
That
and
is
she goes
the thing.
And you just get your coffee, and I can understand that because I like there's a few bars I like going to, and when I sit down, they know what I drink, so I don't have to say shit. They got my beer, my shot there.
No, that is the thing.
So that's that. I don't know. I guess you kind of feel good. That whole cheers thing. Like you're gonna go where everybody likes you. Everybody knows your name.
I get that. I love it. I love it all the time. And even like Mark, he'll. What are we doing today, man? What kind of day you having? You're one of your like he knows my choices. And like he says, "Oh, I see you." And I said, "I don't know, Mark. You tell me what kind of mood I'm in." And then sometimes your bartender will do it. So, I mean, these human interaction things are what we all live for. Or some people. I wish more people lived for that.
Can't get that on an app.
No. Although I did hear about an interesting app. I don't know how true it is. I didn't look it up, but it's called the Shipbreak app.
The what?
Shipbreak.
Please
elaborate
on what the fuck is Shipbreak.
So my friend's a truck driver, right? He drives interstate. And he said he has this app that while they're driving along, you can boom where you want to take a shit.
Ah,
and
all
it's full of. Remember, I told the story about I know all the hotels are going to.
Right.
Well, it exists that there's a truck driver app. It's meant for truckers that are on the road, but it's kind of like Waze, but has more thing. Hey, Joe's Diner, the coffee sucks. It's like all truckers on there.
So because
the CB,
I think you mentioned something like that a while ago.
I only it was a myth, but now he told me it's real. But it's like the old CB guys.
CBs, right? When they would communicate.
Well, so now they have this network on an app.
That's fascinating. That's actually fascinating.
It's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. Don't go here. Some guy died in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Because you could imagine you're on the road and like, fuck, I gotta drop the kids off, man. You hit your shit and you go,
drop the kids off. That's the next T-shirt.
Okay.
That's the next T-shirt.
We say that all the time, man. That's
just a picture of a dude taking a dump stop, dropping the kids off.
No, we say that all the time in my crew. Like, yo, man, where you going? We going over to the so-and-so's. Nah, I got to go drop the kids off first. So. Sorry to break it to everybody.
I never heard that. That's fucking awesome. I never heard that.
Oh, man.
I never heard that. That's fascinating.
Dropping the kids off.
That's got to be the next T-shirt.
We say it all. It's normal talk for us. That's a level 1 thing. I don't know. But we always will be like, yo, bro, you going over to so-and-so's party? Yeah, I got to go and drop the kids first. And then...
You know what pisses me off? When I go and in some of the bars I like going to, when people just come in and use the bathroom.
I fucking hate it.
That to me, that's fucking.
It happened Friday when I was in the city. I was like,
it's fucking bad etiquette. It's poor etiquette, especially if the place is crowded, and especially if there's no, you don't just go in there. There's a certain.
Yeah.
What I think you should do is you should go in there. You should go to the bartender and say you want a soda, or you say you want just a glass of water, and just drop $1 down.
Exactly.
And just drop $1 down, and then just go use the bathroom, and then whatever.
I agree. That's proper etiquette for that's courtesy, and that's But yeah, there's a shitload of guys that do that, man, all the time, and that's why I said when when I do it, it's in a hotel. It's not a service. It's a hotel.
Right.
It's a common bathroom, and they just happen to be very nice. They got the nice towels. They got the nice, you know.
Do they spray you? Do they spritz you?
No, there's tons of, you know, good soaps and all this stuff, and fully closed doors. You know, like full closed doors, not a
like a peep door.
Yeah, not a
partition.
So
there's no.
No, it's a water closet, a real European.
So they can't see your feet.
No,
the door is closed.
No, yeah,
that's
yeah.
You do all kinds of debaucherous shit, ass.
No, but that's what it always is. People always like, all right, now, you know, this guy's been in there too long. What's going on? They're full closed doors. They're closed, and you know, you can handle your business. You got all the fucking nice towels and all that stuff. You walk out of there. All right, great.
Feeling refreshed.
Yeah,
had a moment. Had like 6 minutes of luxury when I took a dump at this.
It's fancy hotel.
This fancy hotel.
Exactly. Guys, like, thank you for coming, sir.
Right.
Oh yeah, I left you a little something.
Drop the kids off.
Left you 2 kids in the bathroom.
I left the kids off. Oh shit.
Yeah, man. But that's that. You know that. You're right. Interaction between you know, people, but places of business and bar. I mean, they got it tough. You know, you gotta, you know, clean up after some schmuck.
Exactly.
Clean,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, somebody's got to clean that. Somebody's got to, and you know, and if and especially if there are people there who are like dropping money down, you want to make sure that they have a place
that's clean and respectful.
That's clean and respectful that we go in there. For you to just walk in and just do that, no, just do the respectful thing. It costs you a buck.
It does.
You know, and yes, I get it. They're like, especially when you're in Manhattan, there's a lot of places around where they don't have bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
They start doing this these buildings which are just basically public toilets.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have public toilets in the city. You put a quarter in.
They're in, but they're in like Midtown, right?
You got Times Square. Yeah,
Times Square.
Right? You got them by the park, by in front of Macy's.
By the park. I see them in Bryant. That's an old one. The one in Bryant Park.
Yeah,
that's an old one.
Yeah, that one. That's like one of the original ones. Right, the original Shake Shack, right? Oh no, not that one. That's by what's that? Madison Square Park.
Madison Square Park is the original Shake Shack. Yeah, by Bryant Park is the one I'm talking about. Where the ice skating rink is.
Yes.
Where they put the ice, which I don't know if it's going to be there anymore because it's getting warmer out.
It's getting warm today. Yesterday was 51, 52, and today's supposed to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to go fly drones today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pull the drones back out, but I want to go see Den of Thieves.
Which one is that?
That's 50 Cent and Gerard Butler's new movie. Looks pretty good. Everybody's saying it's like Heat. Heat-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Heat-esque. Heat was a good movie.
Heat was a great movie. But you know they were never really together in that movie.
They just had that one scene.
It wasn't together.
Oh, they never did it together?
They filmed it separately.
Oh, interesting.
De Niro and Pacino were never in the same room. Okay. You'll never see a side-by-side.
You'll never see a side-by-side of them.
It's always
a single shot. It's always like, well, okay.
But when I see you, and don't get me wrong, when I see you, I may have to put you down. It was always flip-flop.
Who's gonna be when we are ready to like when we hit our senior years, like who are going to be the great
De Niro's? Like who's
going to be the De Niro? I mean, I think a guy like a Denzel. Well, I guess Denzel's already in that category.
Yeah,
he's already in that category. But who? Denzel's, the Gene Hackmans.
You know what?
Who in this younger generation? Like because I always ask the question about this about music. So like your son and my son, they're relatively the same age.
Yeah.
When they get our age. Who are they going to say these are legendary people and you know they get whatever thing they do, we're just going to go ahead and enjoy it, and we're just going to assume that it is a level of greatness that they've demonstrated.
It's interesting. I think I don't think that's something you can tell now, or else you'd be a fortune teller. Like you'd be you'd be a swami. Right. Because it has to happen. Like you have to do legendary shit. Like you have to like really caramelize over the years. You know, you would never think, you know, going back watching fucking Serpico or you know, Taxi Cab Driver. These guys would be.
These guys would be great. You know these guys would be legendary things.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's some guys you don't question a Denzel Washington work. Now afterwards, after you see it, you may have an opinion about it, but. You have no problem dropping down money to go see a Denzel Washington movie. No. Because you assume that it's going to be a certain level of
like by him just saying yes is of character. Right, exactly. It's like, oh, he agreed to this? Oh, this got to be all right because I know what he likes to put out. But Will Packard.
Who is that?
He's the director of Black Panther. Right?
Okay.
Isn't the black guy from
I have no idea.
Movies? This guy is I didn't know how I watched his bio on Bill. They have something called Blueprint or whatever else.
Okay.
Man, interesting portfolio. Like how he got into directing.
Yeah.
And how he just literally just him and his friends doing a college movie type of thing, and then how do you get money for this? And what he said was very interesting. I thought it was very fun because he talked about how Blockbuster, of all places, helped his career. Like he accredits the fact that there was a thing
that there was a Blockbuster, right,
to his career. Why? Because he said it was always that let's make it a Blockbuster night thing. So he thought that if all his friends were at Blockbuster every Friday night and picking up titles and going he said, if I could get on the fucking shelf,
something,
if I could get
on the shelf in Blockbuster,
something in Blockbuster, then he can go and say, hey,
go there on Friday.
We're in Blockbuster.
Right.
We made it. So, the Smoke and Mirror, even though that's what he was doing, and it was a shitty movie, he even says it. He says it was a shitty college movie or whatever else.
But you create a goal for yourself. You create a platform.
He created a platform. Once he got there, then he said,
well, what's the next one?
So how do you do this? Oh, then you do this. And then he said, it wasn't until he did Toi. He's the director of that. You know that movie, Toi?
Yes, I did not like that.
It was a black, you know what I'm saying?
It just wasn't good.
Right.
I mean, props to him.
Yeah. Done. But it wasn't until till I think he said Sony gave him some money and was like, but we only want this. So he may try 1, 2, 3, 4. He kept going on. He was like, guys, I can't keep.
Yeah, my brain is fried. I don't know how to make this shit interesting anymore.
And he had other shit. He had other movies and stuff. And he was like, well, what about this? What about that? So he was able to kind of say, oh, can we change it and call it something else? Can we this and that? But he's got an interesting story. And he goes in and talks about, as a part 2 to last week's podcast, he goes in and talks about, Marvel movies don't fail. Like they don't, because they have a following.
Right.
And every time they make a movie, they get new followers, and that's how the franchise is growing. Right. So for them to say Black Panther is the highest grossing pre-ticket sales for the first time, you go, huge. That seems weird that they're so big. How could they still be having first of anything?
Right.
And so he accredits the blackness to it, right? The Black Panther, the black, all black cast, all, and he's saying, but if it goes the other way for some reason, if it switches the paradigm of Marvel's, what they're used to seeing out the gate and all this other, everyone will blame the blackness. He said everyone will just say it was too black for me.
I can see, it was
too.
I can see that.
Wakanda.
I can see that. You have a built-in excuse. As to why this was not successful.
Right. And so his comment was he tried everything in his power to make sure that there was no resting on that excuse. That there was nothing that could say, it was a movie before it was a black movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he made a good point in saying that he appreciates being the accolades after it does what it does, not before. Like don't give me an Academy Award before you saw it. Like see it and let it do what it's supposed to do in the market, and let it do, and then say, man, this guy made a great movie.
Right.
And as a Black African American, then give him
let that be the subset to the fact that it was a great
not the front, because then it became so preconceived that I gotta see what this nigga gonna do,
right?
That kind of thing. So that bigger credit to him. He's got his swag together. I never really knew him or his story or whatever else. And
look, you do the tours and stuff like that, so that you can build your rep. You can build. Look, I mean, unfortunately, that's the game you got to play if you're gonna be in it. You got to show the studio that you can take their X amount of dollars they give you, turn a profit. Yeah. And then the next time, okay, well, I'll give you 10 million. And he made us 18 million. The Monique thing. Yeah. So now, now let's give him 100 million. And oh man, he's gonna make us 200 million. That type of thing. So
yeah, man.
That's how you do it, man. You gotta. Sometimes you gotta do this. If you're gonna be in that Hollywood game, you have to be very, very much a marathon runner. Yeah, true. You are running a marathon. True. This is not a sprint. True. So that one little thing you do, which might seem to be crappy, you have to sort of like understand that this is a step to getting something closer to what it is I want to do.
Well, No, I mean, this is true for us. I mean, we've if you go back to watch podcast one, you see some growth, you see some change, you see some things, and we've always welcomed anyone to say or comment anything about it, right. But we're seeing that now. We're seeing, you go back and look, and snow days, and I go back and binge watch all the episodes. It's like, I could have said, I forgot to say this, or I forgot to say that, or etc. But it was always meant, and I'll say this, and you've said it several times, whether it's one person listening, 10 people listening, or 1 million people listening, it's us. It's Two Bros,
right?
And we never set out to do, and I always and every time I listen to these stories, the one thing that resonates with me is always everyone said, I was just being organic. Like, the more organic I felt, the more true that we were to what we were doing with this, or whatever the purpose was, then I'm okay. I could sleep at night with that. I could sleep at night knowing that I just was me.
Right.
Or you were you, or we were us. So I guess that's when we become the they. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's see, we keep going back to this. That's when the we becomes the they.
That's when the we become the they. And then, and at some point, it's just really, it's good it's refreshing for me to know that, we can just be ourselves, as opposed to what people want. Seeing people say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. No, how about you do that?
Yeah, why don't
you make that? You do.
So that's great for you.
It's great for you.
So we're not gonna. The dancing monkey is not coming on the thing.
No.
The Biggle Baby Papa, whatever that.
I hate that.
Juggle Baby Papa, whatever that thing it says.
I don't even know what the words are. Juggle Baby Papa.
It's like some monkey that's like mixed with
a baby diaper or something.
Some crazy shit.
Did not.
But whoever listen, that was a pitched meeting. Somebody came up with that idea.
Yes.
People in the room said no, but the right person said, you know what? I like that.
That's fucking hilarious. Joey, let's run that. Let's. And someone said, yeah. But I really can't stand yes men. I really, no. In all the years I've dabbled in the music business and never made a dime, or, or made some waves or networking contact, I always hated the yes man that just agreed to everything.
Right.
Because as long as he could stay longer. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's dope. Oh, that's great. And I'm like, that's not... You think it's hot? Well, if you don't think it's hot, then it's really not hot. But what?
You just went back on what you...
Pick something and stay with it, man. Just be consistency. And I think that's the key to a lot of attempts, is just the consistency. Right? People that waver and titter tatter and on different sides of the fence, and what team you like this week, you don't like this guy, you like that, all this other stuff, man. Just be organic.
Just be yourself. Be your honest self, and that's all there is to it.
Indeed.
But you got to figure out who that is, and you have to be willing to take the slings and arrows that comes with that, because sometimes that'll go in contrast to a particular scenario you're in.
Well, I think you guys just try. You got to try some things.
But I mean, you have to be. I mean, there's good in it, but there's also bad that comes with it, and you have to be willing to take. You have to be willing to take the whole thing if you are being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Because it's not always going to be a pretty thing. Sometimes you being your authentic self means that you've pissed off a couple people. And, you have to deal and say, look, I wasn't trying to piss you off. I'm just trying to be honest with who I am and how I feel. And,
Listen, like
ultimately go fuck yourself. I mean, that's basically what it is.
It was like this. I love playing basketball. I love playing with my son when he was younger. We used to play around hoops and shoot around and go in the park and do all this stuff. But I would roll my ankle every time. This ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time. But just get out there. Oh.
You did it again, Pop?
Did it again. And roll my ankle every time. And so I was like, yo, you know what? This ain't for me. Even when I played like in the coaches versus the kids, like I was a coach, but then we go coaches versus parents or something like that. Just roll my foot, tie my shoes up, do all the prep and stuff. No matter what, roll my ankle.
When you were made, God said, "Nope, not a basketball player."
Yeah.
God looks back. Did I make this? No. I didn't give you the strong ankle support.
Hey,
you need to stop playing basketball. Hey,
stop that.
If you do that again, I'm gonna twist your knees. I'm gonna fuck up your ankles.
Yeah, which is what I love doing it. Love going out there and playing and getting, but it's just not made for you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, but you have to try it in order to not.
You gotta figure it out. You got to figure that out.
Yeah, you got to find out if you and in Rotten to say 360 back to that or 180. She said the only way to really find out is to eat it. Like you can't. There's no way to know you have it. They put you in a room. So I thought of this skit that might be funny, which I was saying, oh man, what a great way to get all you can eat seafood, man. You just go to one of these allergy places and say, I think I'm allergic to shellfish. Okay, sir, you want to try this lobster tail? Let me try that. Nope, didn't do anything. What about shrimp?
Got a little tingle.
Maybe I need more.
Maybe I need more of the lobster and the shrimp. And you got any butter with those? Because
they did show at the testing facility. That's what they do. They put you in front. It was prepared by a chef, and I was like, wow, it's a great fucking free breakfast, free free lobster tails, man. Free shellfish. Go to an allergy place. Who knew they had good chefs in there that could make
right. Top-notch chefs. Went to culinary school and everything.
That's it, man.
To do for the research lab.
Oh, boy. So the rest of the week is pretty... We're going to have good weather? Are we getting cold again?
I think it's going to be like in the... I think we're staying in like the mid-40s.
Yeah.
So I think that freezing cold thing is... I think we might be... I mean, I hate saying that. We're done with it because Mother Nature always got a way of saying, oh, really?
What was it? A cyclone? What was it called? What they call it?
Bubble cyclone or some. They gave it some name.
A polar cyclone. No, polar vortex was the old one.
That was the old one.
We
had a hollow cyclone or some shit like that. It was some.
Damn, I just
something that made you think that the world was coming to an end, and that was that. But we did have
bomb cyclone.
Bomb cyclone. There you go. It was a bomb cyclone. Get out!
Bomb cyclone.
Save your kids. Store up water. Fill the tub with water because it's a bomb cyclone that's coming. We did have a several weeks though of just some really really bitter cold.
Oh no, it was bad
weather. Just like cold, like you turn on the car and the car doesn't want to. Like, really, do I have to fucking do this?
I had to put chapstick on my tires. Like,
what the fuck is chapstick?
keeps your tires lubricated just like your lips. Sitting there putting chapstick around my tires.
And you turn the car on, you.
Oh man!
Someone told me that what they do in like the really cold states,
Germany, like you mean like
like in Iowa and stuff like that. They actually put sheets over their cars, to keep the engine block somewhat warm, somewhat out of moisture.
And you just peel the whole thing off.
Yeah, you just peel the whole thing off, and then your car starts.
She had someone gave that for Christmas for the truck and for her Benz, and it seemed to be okay. It was kind of like a windshieldy kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they were actually using like sheets and blankets, just like whatever you like.
My neighbor does that. She takes a blue tarp when it's going to snow. She covers the whole car in a blue tarp, and all the snow falls on top of it, and then she just does a magic trick and pulls it all off. But when it's a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got to put away some decorations today. So that's my day, and then maybe we'll go check out that movie. But other than that, man,
tis gonna be fun.
Tis gonna be fun. And episode 18. I think we're in the books.
I think this is a wrap. Go get your We Become the They t-shirt coming to you soon.
We Become the They.
And the what is it? The dropping off the kids? You're gonna do that one too?
Gotta drop off the kids and show a guy on it. I gotta figure out how to draw it, but we'll make it happen some way or another. Two Bros Podcast signing off. We thank you for watching. Don't forget to be a blessing to somebody else.
Or fuck them.
Or
fuck them.
Hey man, signing off. We love you guys. Peace.
Love you too. Back at you.
Peace.
मैं 13 Ghost TV में 2 Bros Podcast देख रहा हूँ. आप भी देखिए, एंजॉय कीजिए.